Yes.
Good evening, everyone. This is Mike Lapinto. I'm the co-artistic director of FestivalSouth. And as we tell you on our second broadcast here, we were planning to have a whole fun festival for you. And just as usual in our 11th season, when, as you well know, we had to go online. We weren't allowed to gather together, weren't allowed to use any of our buildings, and so at this point, we are online with something we're calling Festival South Reimagined. We really appreciate everybody that was part of Thursday night's broadcast, and we'll be here every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday night, Mondays at noon, with special performances from all of our performers. They so graciously agreed to take what they were doing this year and make something new for us. We will be sharing those all through the month, and we were able to collect those with some new performances for you. Tonight is a lot about musical theater. If you like musical theater, tonight is your night, and we listen to you. We're spreading some things out all through the evening with performances. There'll be some special sneak peeks from things that most people haven't seen. If you didn't make it to Sister Act, you're going to get to see a bit of Sister Act. If you did, you're going to love this again. Something most people have not ever seen, except for the lucky crowds that were there at our very first musical from the Hub City Players at Festival South, which was Rock of Ages. There's an amazing finale from the Kinky Boots cast that you have to stick around for tonight. Again, we are so glad that you are here with us, and we hope you'll tune in on Facebook. We will tell you, we had some trouble streaming to YouTube. What it looks like is we'll be able to post this after we finish. So if you go to YouTube, about a half an hour to an hour after we finish, you should be able to find this show, play it on your big screens, play it however you want, and share it with friends. The other thing we'd love for you to share is your time with us and possibly a little bit of your cash. Maybe some of that check you possibly got. Everything we're doing right now, artists are having a rough time, and everybody's having a rough time. There's so many things going on in our country and many people who haven't been able to work. But right now we're looking at artists not being able to work at all for the foreseeable future. There's very few symphonies, ballets, theater companies opening up to do anything, and we really need your help. And we want to be there for you on the other side of this. The arts are vital to recovering and moving on with our life, and add so much to the fabric of who we are. In particular, here in Hattiesburg, we have a vibrant arts culture all through our schools, all through our colleges, and into our community, and we need you to be a part of that. So at any time, if you have a moment and want to click the red button or visit festivalsouth.org and make a donation, any bit helps. You'll see that all night, and we hope you enjoy it. The other thing you'll get to see tonight is a little bit of our commercial that's going viral. We kind of just did a fun thing with shots around Hattiesburg, and I think you'll get to see that one more time tonight as well. Thank you for sharing that and passing it around. One of the things, like I said, we have a vibrant arts community. I wanted to invite people on that are part of making that arts community happen. And tonight, it looks like it's working. Right before we went on, we weren't sure if our Skype was working. We have Brandon Hayes, who is part of everything, I think. I've known him for a little bit, but tonight he's technically representing HCLO, which is the Hattiesburg Civic Light Opera, which is community theater here in Hattiesburg. Hey, Brandon.
Hi, Mike. It's so good to see your face.
You as well. I know. It's we actually saw each other right before all of this happened, and then we've all been sequestered away. Although I'll say it, I'm doing it with much better lighting at the moment. So, so what have you been doing during your quarantine time?
It feels like a whole lot of nothing. I mean, I know you kind of sympathize with the whole fact of like the 100-mile-an-hour lifestyle, and everything kind of got shut down all at once. And so, I mean, I was doing a speaking role in an opera, and I was also directing a show for HCLO.
Tell us a little bit about that, because I had my show, like we were at dress rehearsal, we didn't get to do the performance, and I know y'all had just auditioned and we're getting ready to start
Yeah.
production for your show. Tell us a bit about what that was going to be and maybe what the plans are.
Well, we were doing 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee, which is just a wonderful show. It's hilarious, but also really, really heartfelt, and so I was really excited to dig into it. We were also looking, HDLO has been trying to figure out some finances lately, and so we were also looking at trying to do a very stripped-down version, which is kind of my theater ethos, is kind of pulling everything away and letting the performers speak for themselves. And so we were really excited about digging in and seeing what we could do to make that show really one of those shows where the performers really shine through. And we had a great cast. We got very lucky in the fact that like the people that showed up were just perfect for it. So we were very lucky, and we were a week and a half into the rehearsal process when things kind of got shut down and the rug got kind of pulled out from under us, for a very good reason, of course. But also at the same time, it was a little life shattering, and so everything kind of stopped all at once.
We talked last time. We don't mean to make light of anything, with some people's plights just being absolutely devastating. Please understand we're not doing that, but this is sort of our passion and our life and something that we do, both of us in the theater community, and suddenly not being able to do what it is you love and not really knowing when it might happen again is, it's ripping your family away. Plus, our family is a lot of times theater family. I mean, I have so many great contacts, and like you and I said, this is the first time I've seen you in just any time at all. So that's really, really hard on people.
Well, I think it's interesting. One of my friends posted on Facebook shortly after this whole thing started. He had continued to see this thing that, we're all in the same boat here. And he posted this post, and it just really struck with me that we're not all in the same boat here. We may all be in the same storm, but everybody's boat is different. We're all struggling with different things here.
Stopped.
So, I mean, and one of the struggles that we're dealing with is us losing our passion, where some people are struggling, to pay bills and things of that nature. So everybody's boat is different, but the storm is the same. And so, I mean, as long as we, kind of help each other out and go rescue each other when we need to, I think we'll get through it okay.
Well, absolutely. So what are you looking forward to? What do you think is going to be the productions? Does HCLO have a timeline for what might be happening?
We don't have a timeline. I think it's going to be a while before live theater is going to be allowed to happen again. But I think the wonderful thing that we have in the arts community is a bunch of people with creative minds, and much like what FestivalSouth is doing at the current moment. Necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, and we need to do this. This is something that we need to do as part of our souls, as part of our hearts. We have to perform. We have to get art out there. And, when we are in this situation where we have to figure out how to do that, we will figure out how to do that. So I think, I'm very, I'm looking at what you guys are doing with FestivalSouth, with not only these live casts, but also what you guys are doing on the Trace and things of that nature. I mean, it's just ingenuity. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out.
Creativity is always creativity, and it sort of begets creativity. And I tell you, it's been a team of people doing it. I get a lot of credit for things, and that's really nice. I appreciate it. But even tonight, I could not do this without Travis and Brett, who are on the other side running this. Rachel, our whole board, Amanda, Tammy with Hub City Players, and all the people who are part of that team to make that happen, from sets to costumes to, tech folks and everybody. It's a whole fabric of community that, can't do things, but we're all trying to be creative with what we're doing. And the amazing thing is how everybody's kept in touch and been together with all of that. So I will tell you, I talked to you a little bit before all of this, and I said one of the things that I never get to say out loud is sort of what HCLO does and what Hub City Players does. Since we're going on to Hub City Players in just a little bit, is HCLO is where you get to learn what you do many times. I was in many HCLO productions, and I used to be in the pit playing for things, and then finally I graduated to the stage and was really fortunate to be in some great HCLO productions. Even got a little cameo in Return to Forbidden Planet this past summer. And that's where I learned the do's and don'ts. That's where I learned that didn't work or this didn't work. And I still learn every time I do anything. I learn more from my tragic failures of things mostly than I do any of the good stuff that happens. But tell us a little bit about community theater and its importance to this community and any community, really.
Well, I think community theater gets a bad rap because it's not a professional theater and it's not collegiate theater, but it is the community coming together to create theater. And it's where a lot of us get our start. It's where I started. I started in community theater in Wiggins, Mississippi, of all places. That was the first show that I'd ever done in my life, was in Wiggins, Mississippi. You know, many of the people in your cast I've been in shows with in HCLO. I mean, HCLO is a community theater organization that has really grasped and grown the talent here in Hattiesburg for theater. And I think, and like you said, you know, when you were introducing me, I have my hand in pretty much all of the organizations around here that do theater. And not once have I done a show where an HCLO person has not been right there. It's important for community theater to give those opportunities to our community to not only perform, but also see theater. Community theater means different things to different people. You know, for performers, it's an opportunity for us to get up and do something for the community, but also to grow our talent so that we can do something somewhere else. But for the audience, it's also an opportunity to see these stage shows that otherwise would not be produced in our area. So I think community theater, HCLO does something for the community, much like Hub City Players does. The fact that it's a service to the community to bring musical theater and theater in general just to a spectrum of people that would not usually be able to see.
Yeah, I watched something, I actually was on TikTok today, and some Broadway performer that I follow was talking about how many people live in this sort of American Idol, America's Got Talent kind of mode, because that's what we see. And they don't realize the years and hours and constant preparation that most of those people go through to get to even to make it to the finals at that point. The audition levels they have, they make it feel like the people walked off the street and just did this. And there are a few, but it's the very small few that, you know, haven't really put in some time. You know, it's what they like to say, a lot of actors say, the overnight discovery. They've been in this for, you know, since they were born, being in every show they could ever be in. And that was me. I mean, I think I was doing stuff in elementary school, but my first musical that I remember was 7th grade. And I was like, you know, chorus member number 57 in Fiddler on the Roof. And I did, anytime they said, does somebody want to, that was my role in life. And I think people need to learn, this is where you put in your time to do it. We get asked on Hub City Players, how do you get in Hub City Players? I was like, let us see you on stage. Let us see you work. Let us work with you. And that's how we find people. We pick a show. We know what types we need to make a show work. And we see people a lot of times that may not even quite be the type, but we love them. We love their voice, love what they do, and their work ethic, and we put them in. But I think where you get trained and where you get to do that is through an organization like HCLO. And we are thrilled that you are being a better part of that, being directing shows now, which was exciting to me. And I hate that it went down like this, but we're just looking, you just have longer to plan, shall we say, for when it's going to happen.
One of the things I do have to say, though, and I want to say this to the broader public, not just you, is that you actually are the person who let me cut my teeth in directing for the first time on a couple of different shows, gave me a couple of scenes, and let me cut my teeth. And so when I actually was asked to direct a show for HCLO, I felt like I really had some good training there because I had the guy help me do that.
Well, you're very kind. I feel even guilty when you say that. I was like, probably should have given you way more to do. So maybe I'm a little protective of some things sometimes. But yeah, you are a super talent, and HCLO is lucky to have you at the helm of some things. And I look forward to being on stage with you again, or in front of you again, or at an HCLO show you've done again. Thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. We'll be right back, everyone.
I I'm Kelsey Wishick. I'm a Mississippi native from the Gulf Coast. Well, I was excited to be asked to participate in Festival South, and of course, the first thing that I was thinking about with how to connect with the concept was my experience with Hattiesburg. I've spent a lot of time on the Leaf River in the woods, playing music myself, and I always kind of have this like myth that I tell myself about this man in the river who's perpetually playing music for all of time. And I've done several paintings and drawings of this river myth man, and kind of showed up again in this work. I thought it would be interesting to give him a kind of unique instrument. So he's playing the banjo-lele, a little small banjo-ukulele mix. And I kind of worked with the idea of the appearance of kinky boots in the festival to just give him these vibrant boots to ground him into the river. So he's very much a part of nature and participating in the landscape. And that's kind of how I spent my time here in Hattiesburg, always outside, enjoying the beauty that is offered here. So the color in this painting, it actually came in response to an actual sunrise that I experienced as I was starting to conceive this idea. I was really struck by this kind of lemon yellow that happened one morning. I don't think I've ever seen that color before in real life until that day. And it became this kind of surreal experience that I was having, and that I wanted maybe the viewer to be able to touch into. So it's just this really vibrant springtime, early springtime colors, and kind of just pushing that surreal moment of being integrated with everything. So like there's this swooping, like he's kind of swooping into the trees are becoming into the atmosphere, so everything is connected in a way. And I wanted to play with that with the colors too. So even his jeans, his shirt, it becomes kind of atmospheric, or like the river, like the landscape. So trying to push that connection. I'm always thinking about the nature of water and the fluidity of water and the contrasting nature of the different elements. But I feel always quite drawn to water and that kind of ability for it to reflect our stories and our moments. And I always think of water when I'm in Hattiesburg for some reason because of the rivers. When I think of creativity in relationship to the pandemic, my experience has been to, take an initial pause and assess what is most important to me as a creator, not to just create compulsively. So it's been actually a really beautiful time to step back and reintegrate into the vision process of creativity. So obviously sometimes it just comes and it flows, and other times it really starts with how I feel like creativity starts with how we see life and how an artist sees life. So I've been really cultivating that direct contact with the places that I'm in, the kind of empathy that I feel for the situation, and allowing it to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, I always think of creativity as a kind of technology of what we can create with what we have. So in that way, I also think this time has really brought us back to what is essential. It's not always about maybe the product or the object or the show, but also that kind of fulfillment and relationship with the medium directly. We're kind of coming from this time, the past few years have been really hard with all the challenges we're facing with minorities, Me Too movement, just everything's kind of come up in the past few years. And I feel like it's been a kind of time of lamenting. And I hope that on the other side of this, that we can come to really celebrate the sacredness of diversity in life and spread more color and light through our art.
Done, I thank you. May all you hope for in life be yours. A white sequin gown with a white fox fur.
I don't know about that, Mother Superior, but I got Eddie, and I have my friends here. And maybe they'll, help me get all that.
So you will come back and visit us after the Pope gig?
Pope gig? Check you out getting all show busy. Yeah, I'll come back to this church a lot.
To pray.
To sing. Sometimes when I'm singing here with these girls, I'll just decide to take it up a half step. And every one of them, all of them, just take it up with me without anybody saying a word.
Perhaps one day you will know that that is God.
Perhaps one day you'll realize that that's just being human.
And perhaps one day we will realize it is both. And they are the same. All things being even, here's what I believe in. Nothing matters more than love, friendship and affection, real connection. It's a gift from above.
Every song that we play, every prayer that we pray, makes a bond in a way that's profound.
We're just here to spread that love all around.
Spread it around.
Spread it around.
Queen of Angels, only welcome. The Bishop of Rome, the Vicar of Jesus Christ, the Supreme Pontiff of the Universal Church. Yo, let's give it up for Pope Paul the Sixth.
Start a conversation, go a celebration, let whatever's in you are. Welcoming and sharing, simply caring, that's what life is about. Don't just sit on the side, go along for the ride, with your heart open wide as it goes. Let love's music fill you down to your toes.
I love Sister Act. Oh my gosh, the fun that cast had, just an amazing, amazing thing. And with me tonight is my sort of partner in crime for the Hub City players that presented Sister Act last year, 2009, Tammy Mansfield, once again with us tonight. Hey, Tammy.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
Cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Sister Act was an amazing thing. Tammy Mansfield was the music director, sort of costume supervisor. When it comes to Hub City players, I think she and I turn into producer and everything. We just make it work. That's at the end of the day, is make it work, as Tim Gunn would say. So let's talk about Hub City players real quick, and let's talk about how Hub City players works, because that's probably the number one question we get on our website is, how do I get in a show? What is Hub City players? What's it all about?
Well, we're a theater company in Pittsburgh that started doing some advertisements. We broke into Broadway show about 4 years ago. Rock of Ages, Giant Heat, and then last year, and of course we were getting this year. Still hoping to do it at a later date. We've tried every year to pick a show to choose something very different from what we've done before, because we want variety, not just in what we were presenting, but in who we can work with and what talent we have. And the way that we work, we don't do auditions. I think Mike kind of alluded to that a while ago. We're so aware of who we have in this town, not just from going and seeing them and other things, but in being in shows with them and just knowing the talent that we have in the area. So when Mike and I go to choose a show for our company, we pick it based on who we know we have the talent to cast it with in town. We are so blessed to live in a town that has just an enormous group of talented people that, at any given time, we could choose 10 different shows and cast it on the spot. So,
Absolutely.
So we tend to just choose a show knowing who we've got. We go ahead and cast it. We offer roles to people. We pay everyone involved, from every tech person, every actor, everyone involved, because we want everyone to know that they are appreciated and have a good experience with the whole thing. We have a very short rehearsal period because we hire very, very talented people, and we ask them to show up off book, and we get after it for about 3 weeks and knock it out and then throw the show up. And we've found that the kind of people and the caliber of people that we work with, they like working that way. They like coming in, banging it out, and then just, running it, and having a great show instead of it dragging out for months and months and months. I will say this about our company: it has been something I've worked very hard to uphold and to stress to everyone that we work with, and Mike feels absolutely the same way I do, that our biggest goal is to produce, and for me almost more than a good product, an atmosphere of fun. I want people to want to be there and to want to work with each other. Our motto is drama-free drama. If you've got problems, take it elsewhere. And so everyone puts their egos at the door. There's a real spirit of cooperation. We are always open to everyone's ideas. Everyone's on the same footing. We're all creative, and so many of us, I've directed. Mike and I both have music degrees. A lot of times the people that we get to choreograph for us have music degrees. And we tend to trade roles all the time. I costume. We cast people who are absolutely fabulous costumers, and so they'll end up working with me. And so it's just really, really, really a team effort, everything that we do. And we want people to walk away saying, oh my goodness, that was so much fun. What is the next show?
And not just the people in the audience, but the people in the cast. And
we work with, yes.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things, you said drama-free drama. I think one of the things that's been difficult about this for me is we love the people we work with. And that's one of the reasons we pick the people that we do many times for that. Not only are they right for the role and are super talented people to do what we do so quickly, but I tell people all the time, the reason it can be drama-free drama is our theater space should be your safe space. Whatever the world is throwing at you, and right now it really is throwing a lot at everybody, this is your place to go where you can escape and be another character and be someone else. And I think when you feel that kind of safety and you feel that kind of invigoration from your colleagues on the stage, it just transports you, and it's an adrenaline rush like no other. And I think that's another thing that's been really hard for performers right now, is that what Brandon and I were talking about earlier, that safe space is not necessarily there for everybody. And we were lucky to have that. And thankfully, we live in a digital age. Even though we've had a few little technical things happening tonight, we live in a digital age that allows us to see each other, to communicate with each other, not just on the phone, but to see our faces and to do things like this and stream. I mean, at least we're lucky to have that, but it's not the same as hugging somebody's neck that is nasty sweaty after a show and not caring because it's just been family that you have. So the next thing we're going into, the rest of the night for the most part, well, we have a little bit of sneak coming up. You're going to get to see one of our lead performers sing something from Kinky Boots in a little different style. We're going to go back into the video vault to that first full musical. We did a bunch of cabarets called LOL, and still will do those occasionally, but we're going back to the finale of Rock of Ages. I've been around audiences before that were electric, but that audience was just insane, and I say it all the time. If there's a show I want to do again, I want to do Rock of Ages. Is it because of great script and great context and great meaning? Not necessarily. It's just fun. And I think the audience has a lot of fun, and I think you'll see that in this video that we're going to show from the vault. And then the rest of the night is many of our talented cast singing, but we'll come back and talk about that. So we're going to get into some Kinky Boots now. As you know, I wore my shirt tonight because I said we're going to do the Kinky Boots thing. But Tammy, tell us just a quick 1-minute synopsis of Kinky Boots and why it's sort of for everybody. I think people hear the title, even my mom, who's probably watching, hears the title and goes, oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure about that. Tell us why it could be for everybody.
Kinky Boots, at its heart, is a story about love and acceptance and family, choosing to see other people for exactly who they are and for loving them for that difference. And I think in the time that we're living in, especially after this last week, there is just no show that is more pertinent to what's going on right now. It's a show about seeing other people for exactly what they are and realizing what is unique and special about them. It's a show about accepting help from someone you had no reference to or idea of what their life was like. It's about giving help when you've been downtrodden and willing to do it anyway. And there are bullying issues in the show. There's a big fat bully. And, and so we deal with a lot of things like that, and just seeing people for who they are and loving them anyway.
And here we are at a perfect time for a show like that, but it's going to have to wait till next year. And I'm hoping we're all in a much better place in so many levels, and that we'll get to show you that. Tammy, thanks for being with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy some amazing talent from the Hub City Players.
You might think beauty comes in spring and sparrow, or when the sunrise hits the morning blue. But if you
I'm Kelsey Wishick. I'm a Mississippi native from the Gulf Coast. Well, I was excited to be asked to participate in FestivalSouth, and of course the first thing that I was thinking about with how to connect with the concept was my experience with Hattiesburg. I've spent a lot of time on the Leaf River in the woods playing music myself, and I always kind of have this like myth that I tell myself about this man in the river who's perpetually playing music for all of time. And I've done several paintings and drawings of this river myth man, and kind of showed up again in this work. I thought it would be interesting to give him a kind of unique instrument. So he's playing the banjo-lele, a little small banjo-ukulele mix. And I kind of worked with the idea of the appearance of kinky boots in the festival to just give him these vibrant boots to ground him into the river. So he's very much a part of nature and participating in the landscape. And that's kind of how I spent my time here in Hattiesburg, always outside, enjoying the beauty that is offered here. So the color in this painting, it actually came in response to an actual sunrise that I experienced as I was starting to conceive this idea. I was really struck by this kind of lemon yellow that happened one morning. I don't think I've ever seen that color before in real life until that day. And it became this kind of surreal experience that I was having, and that I wanted maybe the viewer to be able to touch into. So it's just this really vibrant springtime, early springtime colors, and kind of just pushing that surreal moment of being integrated with everything. So like there's this swooping, like he's kind of swooping into the trees are becoming into the atmosphere, so everything is connected in a way. And I wanted to play with that with the colors too. So even his jeans, his shirt, it becomes kind of atmospheric, or like the river, like the landscape. So trying to push that connection. I'm always thinking about the nature of water and the fluidity of water and the contrasting nature of the different elements. But I feel always quite drawn to water and that kind of ability for it to reflect our stories and our moments. And I always think of water when I'm in Hattiesburg for some reason because of the rivers. When I think of creativity in relationship to the pandemic, my experience has been to, take an initial pause and assess what is most important to me as a creator, not to just create compulsively. So it's been actually a really beautiful time to step back and reintegrate into the vision process of creativity. So obviously sometimes it just comes and it flows, and other times it really starts with how I feel like creativity starts with how we see life and how an artist sees life. So I've been really cultivating that direct contact with the places that I'm in, the kind of empathy that I feel for the situation, and allowing it to slow down a little bit. So, yeah, I always think of creativity as a kind of technology, of what we can create with what we have. So in that way, I also think this time has really brought us back to what is essential. It's not always about maybe the product or the object or the show, but also that kind of fulfillment and relationship with the medium directly. We're kind of coming from this time, the past few years have been really hard with all the challenges we're facing with minorities, Me Too movement, just everything's kind of come up in the past few years. And I feel like it's been a kind of time of lamenting. And I hope that on the other side of this, that we can come to really celebrate the sacredness of diversity in life and spread more color and light through our art.
Bet you didn't see that one coming. Well, that's how our story wraps up. Hertz eventually joined his son back in Germany to turn his candy shop into a candy empire. That is, after a little renovation job for another fine American city. As for Regina, she was eventually elected the new mayor of West Hollywood. Yeah. She and Fonz are working on the long distance thing. As for Stacy Jacks, well, you all remember that little cutie he was making time with earlier? Turns out she was just elected Student of the Month at Lakewood Middle School. And then there's Dupree's Bourbon Room. Well, you may have heard, we lost Dennis 3 years ago. What? Yeah, sorry, dude, you're dead. Don't feel bad, though. He had a good life. Some hard living. Damn you, Alan Parsons Project! He left the shop to me, and I made sure that his legacy lives on. Then there's Drew and she. As you can see, looks like they found love in place of fame. Living in Glendale now, I believe. They are a perfect illustration that on the strip, sometimes the dreams you come in with ain't always the dreams you leave with. But hey, they still rock!
Oh my gosh, Rock of Ages, so much fun. Again, it just goes to show when working with amazing people that are having a blast, the way an audience reacts, you can just feel that, you know that. So while you're listening to the rest of the cast of Kinky Boots, take a moment to open another browser window if you're on the internet and go to festivalsouth.org, click on the big red button, and please give us a donation. We'd really appreciate that. It helps us be there to do more great shows like this when we get past a time where we can all get back together. Again, enjoy some more cast of Kinky Boots and click the big red button.
Well, it's funny how you waltzed in here, assuming I'd come back. Well, let me tell you something. You are way off track. Can you see I'm different? Or are you still that blind? No, you stand right there and take it. There's no love to hide behind. Well, I am proud to tell you, I'm really feeling good. I'm doing so much better than you ever thought I would. Got my own place, my own space to think and dream and plan. Took me this long to realize I do not need a man. I used to need you, but then I finally learned. I used to want you, now the tables turned. I used to love you, now it's your turn to squirm. 'Cause I'm saying goodbye, and I won't wait for your return. So get out and stay out, I finally had enough. Don't kiss me on your way out, it wouldn't move me much. You used me, abused me, you cheated and you lied. So get out and stay out, I'm taking back my life. I wonder what you'll do when I am not around. Now that your new love has up and let you down. You've always come crying to me throughout the years, to mend another broken heart, to dry your selfish tears. So get out and stay out, I'm moving on at last. Oh, I've been so foolish, but that was in the past. I never thought I'd be the one to say goodbye. You get out and stay out, I'm taking back my life. Dreams and plans are in the making. Success is out there for the taking. Wish it was as simple as it sounds. I have no choice, I have to do it. Face the future, walk into it. Now that I'm unfit
it wouldn't be in summer. Seeing you in summer, I never would go. Your hair streaked with sunlight, your lips red as flame, your face with a luster that puts cold to shame. But if I'd ever leave you, how could it be in autumn? How I'd leave in autumn, I never would know. I've seen how you sparkle when fall nips the air. I know you in autumn, and I must be there. And could I leave you running merrily through the snow? Or on a wintry evening when you catch the fire's glow? If ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh no, not in springtime, summer, winter, or fall. No, never could I leave you at all. If ever I would leave you, how could it be in springtime, knowing how in spring I'm bewitched by you so? Oh no, not in springtime, summer, winter, or fall. No, never could I leave you at all.
Simple choice, nothing more. This or that, either or. Marry well, social world, businessman, clever girl. Or pin my future on a green glass love. What kind of life am I dreaming of?
and people stayed home and read books and listened and they rested and did exercises and made art and played and learned new ways of being and stopped and listened more deeply. Someone meditated, someone prayed, someone met their shadow, and people began to think differently, and people healed. And in the absence of people who lived in ignorant ways, dangerous, meaningless, and heartless, the earth also began to heal. And when the danger ended and people found themselves, they grieved for the dead and made new choices and dreamed of new visions and created new ways of living and completely healed the earth, just as they were healed.
There it goes again. The moment's gone, and I'm too lame to speak. Another wasted opportunity. Always waiting for something to happen, but nothing's gonna happen. Not for me. Buddy, I'm always buddy. I'm a girl for your information, forever in this situation, waiting and hoping he'll notice how I'm feeling. But every time I get him near, I fade away, I disappear. That's me, never getting hurt. He just smiles and walks away, like I never said a word. Whoa, whoa, can anybody hear me? Am I just blowing air while the whole world marches past? Still I blow and blow, though I know it gets me nowhere. I just get lost, lost in the brass. Flutes don't sparkle quite like batons. There's no visual attraction, no stimulus reaction. Pretty music, that's all the pretty that I've got. I'm special in a quiet way, at least that's what my parents say. Whatever, they were never in the band. Their hair is turning gray, they just don't understand. Whoa, whoa, can anybody hear me? I just know I can sparkle on the grass, but my melody can never be heard clearly. I get so lost, lost, lost in the brass. I get so lost, lost in the brass. Listen, I'm not background noise. Listen, I make music.
I just hear an alarm start ringing? Did I see sirens go flying past? Though I don't know what tomorrow's bringing, I've got a singular impression things are moving too fast. I'm gliding smooth as a figure skater. I'm riding hot as a rocket blast. I just expected it 10 years later. I've got a singular impression things are moving too fast. And you say, oh no, step on the brakes, do whatever it takes, but stop this train. Slow, slow, the lights turning red. But I say no, no, whatever I do, I'll barrel through, and I don't complain no matter what I try. I'm flying full speed ahead. I'm never worried to walk the wire. I won't do anything just half-assed. But with the stakes getting somewhat higher, I've got a singular impression things are moving too fast. I found a woman I love, and I found an agent who loves me. Things might get bumpy, but some people analyze every detail. Some people stall when they can't see the trail. Some people freeze out of fear that will fail. But I keep rolling on. And some people can't find success with their art. Some people never feel love in their heart. And some people can't tell the two things apart. But I keep rolling on. Oh, maybe I can't but oh, what else am I dreamed of writing like the high and mighty. Now I'm the subject of a bidding war. I met my personal Aphrodite. I'm doing things I never dreamed of before. We start to take the next step together. Found an apartment on 73rd. The Atlantic Monthly's printing my first chapter. $2,000 without rewriting one word. I left Columbia and I don't regret it. I wrote a book, son, it made already. My heart keeps going, mine is flowing, coming But I'm so happy that I can't get worried about this singular impression. I've got a singular impression things are moving too fast.
I don't need a spotlight. I don't need a crowd. I don't need the great wide world to shout my name out loud. Don't need fame or fortune, nice as those things are. I've got all I need to feel like I'm a star. I've got my sisters by my side. I've got my sisters' love and pride. And in my sisters' eyes, I recognize the star I want to be. And with my sisters standing strong, I'm on a stage where I belong. And nothing's ever gonna change that fact. I'm part of one terrific sister act. And yes, I love that spotlight. And yes, I crave acclaim. I'll admit I love the sound when strangers scream my name. All the glitz and glamour, they're alright, no doubt. But what are you left with when the lights go out? I'll have my sisters with me still. I'll have my sisters, always will. And with my sisters' love, no star above will shine as bright as me. And as a sister and a friend, I'll be a sister till the end. And nothing on this earth can change that fact. I'm part of one terrific sister act.
Wow, some really talented people, and I'm so lucky to walk amongst these folks on a regular basis, and I really look forward to doing that again soon. Thank you tonight to Brandon Hayes, Tammy Mansfield, and the Hub City Players. Thank you to the Festival South staff and all of the Hattiesburg Concert Association folks who make this possible. And thank you for watching. Remember, we hope to be up on YouTube in about an hour or so, and all of these links that you found on all of our Festival South Facebook pages, please share them. Share them and tell somebody about the great things going on at Festival South Reimagined, and thank you for your support. Take a moment, if you haven't already, to visit festivalsouth.org. Click on the big red button and support these artists in any way you can. Every little bit really does help. Our next program is Monday at noon. You can get moving with Festival Dance, and then again Tuesday at 7:30 for even more amazing performances and some very special guests. Finally, as I told you in our last broadcast, between now and our next show, really listen to someone, truly learn from them, and love everyone. Real special performance coming up now. Enjoy and good night.